Shall I start? Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to each one of you. We all gathered here for a very special occasion. Today we have our one of our distinguished guests with us, Professor Dr. Aparajita Hajra. She is Dean of Diamond Harbour Women's University. Ma'am, welcome to 47th International Kolkata Book Fair. Ma'am, just to brief about ma'am, Dr. Professor Dr. Aparajita Hajra is Dean, Faculty of Arts and Professor in Department of English in Diamond Harbour Women's University, West Bengal, India. She has served as Dean of Faculty of Arts and head of the Department of English in SKB University in India. She has 5 books to her credits: The Terrible Beauty, Her Hideous Progeny, and she has also adapted Shakespeare's Macbeth into local dialect called Manboom as a project for performative Shakespeare. Her team won the 2nd place in the contest for local adaptations of classical text. She has a teaching as well as administrative experience spanning 23 years. She is the external expert in the board of studies in number of universities in like SKBU, Vidyasagar University, Mumbai University, etc. She is member of internal quality assurance cell in Bakura University. She has been appointed adjudicator for PhD thesis by Baroda University, Assam University, Bardwan University, Ravindra Bharati University, Raiganj University, Vidyasagar University, Bakura University, NIT Durgapur, Jadavpur University, etc. She has been awarded the Noble Asian Educational Leader Award for 2020 from ISTAR, Philippines. She is the recipient of Asian Education Award 2021. She has been awarded the National Faculty Award for 21-22 from NRA, Puducherry. She has also been awarded the Global Education and Research Excellence Award in English Literature from the Center for Professional Advancement in India. Today, ma'am is here to discuss in a topic, the commoner's tirist with finances, addressing the fears. Before she starts, I'll call Mr. Vikas SS, GM from SEBI, to kindly facilitate her. Ma'am, it's over to you. Please take it forward from here.
Thank you very much. That was very kind of you, and I'm really honored and very happy to be here. And today I was, I was planning to talk, just have a chat with you, just like that. But then Shumon, who was acting as a go-between between SEBI and me, he told me that if you want to, you can make a PowerPoint. So I sat in the morning today, and I was racking my brains about what to talk about, because I am a professor, and I have been a professor 25 years of my life. And if you really ask me how much salary I draw, I probably will scratch my head and I'll have to think about the numbers. So probably finances is not at all my forte. So I was really at a quandary about what to talk about. And then it struck me that I am a complete commoner who is completely financially illiterate. That is what you might say. So let me talk from a financially illiterate's point of view. You know, the fears that we have, the different quandaries that we have, the different places in which we are flummoxed and we are kind of like frazzled about what to do and how to do and who to go to and who can be our go-to person about finances and all that. So today I'm just going to talk about, it would be nice if I could show the PowerPoint, but there are some technical problems for which we'll have to just chuck it. So I'll just talk to you about certain things that as a commoner, you know, we feel that we need some financial expertise and somebody who will be our go-to person to whom we can turn to in order to address our fears, in order to address the places where we feel puzzled, where we feel like we are at an impasse. So I'm going to take a very, very commoner's perspective today. The POV is going to be a completely lay person's POV. Because like I said, that if I am a professor, I have been a professor all my life. And so if you really ask me about the different kinds of dishonesty that we are addressing, that I'll probably only be able to talk about the dishonesty as far as plagiarism is concerned, you know, where copyright infringements are concerned. So I'll be able to tell you about the punishments that happen if you are really copying from somebody else's article, and whether it is IPC 57 or 57A, you know, I can talk about those things. But finances is something that I am pretty much at a loss. So that loss, that lack is the place from which I am going to talk about today. Now, financial fraud, as we lay people understand, is basically, it boils down to one thing. You know, when somebody is, a little while ago I was in the stall of SEBI, and there I found that the police personnel were talking about how our identity thefts happen and how, you know, things just go out of hand just because you took up a wrong phone call and you made the wrong statement and the wrong conversation at the wrong time. So for us, you know, financial theft or financial fraud means kind of like stealing of personal information, like my date of birth being stolen from me, my name, my Aadhaar card number, you know, my bank account number, all those things being stolen from me. Now, not knowing what is in store for me, but the problem arises with the fallouts, the consequences. Now, a number of things can happen, right? The first thing that we are scared about is that my bank account can be completely drained out. You know, one fine morning I might wake up thinking that, okay, I have some lakhs. You know, we professors don't talk in crores. We don't have that much money, so we only talk in lakhs. So maybe I was thinking last night that, okay, I am the proud owner of so many lakhs. And then one fine morning I get up and I find that my bank balance had come down to a zero. So that is our worst fear that can ever come true out of this financial fraud. The other thing that happens is that loans can be opened in my name. So I might think that, like Yudhishthir once said in the Mahabharata, that the happiest person is a person who doesn't have any loans in his name. And I probably might go to bed one night thinking that I'm one of the happiest women in the world, no loans in my name. And then one fine morning I get up and think, I find that I do have something, and that amounts to a number that is mind-boggling probably. Credit cards can be opened in my name, and then the next step would be to max out that credit card so that I would be the one to, you know, give away the money with my nose to the grindstone, you know, just paying off a debt that I never made in the first place. There can be mails that can be hacked. Like a few days ago, one of my colleagues called me up and he said that, how do you want the money to be transferred? And I was like, wait a minute, what money? And he said, but you did ask for money, didn't you? And I said, no, where is this coming from? And he said, but we got a mail. And then when I started asking, I found that a number of my students, a number of my PhD scholars, a number of my colleagues had got that mail. And they were all planning about, and they were really worried that age ma'am must be really in trouble, otherwise she doesn't ask for money from somebody. So, sorry about my voice. So, you know, my mail can be hacked, and money frauds can happen from there. People thinking that so and so person is asking for money or making some transactions when that person is blissfully ignorant of what is going on in her or his name. So that can also happen. Then illegally our addresses can be changed so that my bank statements, my bank accounts, everything, every documentation pertaining to my monetary situation will get siphoned off to some other place. So that can be another deadly thing that can happen. So all of these things, you know, a little while ago in the stall when we were listening to the police personnel talking, you know, the cybercrime people talking, they talked about phishing, and they also talked about this series, the web series that we watched, you know, called Jamtara and all that. Even I watched that, and I was really flabbergasted at this happens actually. So, you know, a few days ago, somebody called me up saying that, and that person told me the exact bank branch name that I actually have my account in, and the person told me a very common thing, you know, but we have a little bit of awareness, we who belong to the middling generation, not the older generation, neither the younger generation. So the person, when he told me that your credit card, your debit card is going to, we are going to freeze it, and so you just need to file an KYC. So we just need a few details. Can you just give them to me? So I was immediately, my hackles were raised, you know, and I said, where are you calling from? Can I talk to your senior? And the moment I started asking the questions, I understood that this was a big red flag. And the first thing I did is I called up my mother. You know, I've lost my father a few years ago, so my mother is alone. So I called her up, and I told her that if somebody tells you this and somebody makes a phone call like this, please do not divulge your information, you know. So this is something that happens with us a number of times, a phishing attack. Now, how do we know that we are being targeted? You know, like I said, that we might be blissfully unaware of what is going on in our lives. So there are unfamiliar transactions that show up on our credit card. That can happen. Strange charges can be, you know, levied to our bank statements. So we need to, you know, raise the alarm right then and there. New credit cards or loans can show up in our name. So we need to be careful about that. Our income tax returns might not tally with our bank accounts, you know, so we need to be very careful, because if that happens, then it's a big red flag and we need to look into the matter. A drop in our credit score, bounce checks, calls verifying unfamiliar purchases, you know, purchases that we never made. Like at one point of time, my mother got a call. I don't know why these old people are targeted all the time. So my mother got a call saying that you have made a purchase with a foreign account amounting to a hefty sum, and she was absolutely worried, and she called me up and she said, "Eta ki hocche re? I didn't do anything of this sort." So, you know, we had to complain to the police and everything, and things were settled. So that kind of a call needs to be addressed right at the beginning. And then inquiries on our credit report, fraud alerts from our bank or credit monitoring service. Now, one thing that, of course, one thing that contributes to these problems is that we do not really know much about our finances. You know, like I told you, right now, if you ask me about the exact number of my salary account, I won't be able to tell you, because I am not really aware of how much exactly, you know, I earn. I don't know how much exactly is there in my account. You know, we are so busy in our lives that we probably, at least I can speak for myself, that I don't remember when I went to the bank and got my account updated, you know. So because we are always transacting through through this pay and that pay and this internet banking system and that, so we don't really need to go to the bank. But that has its pernicious side effects as well, because you are actually losing track of where your money is going. The other thing that we do not know, at least I can speak for myself, is the internet. You know, we do use the internet 1,001 times during the day, but we do it with only a half-tune kind of idea. We do not know the nitty-gritties of the internet. We do not know the basic ABCs of the internet. Like, if you ask me about internet, I can only tell you that, yes, I know what Mr. Google does. I can tell you what GPay is. I can tell you what Paytm is. I can tell you what bank transaction is or PayPal is. But I don't know how it actually works. I don't know whether my CVV number should be at the back of my card or it shouldn't. I don't know if somebody asks for my CVV number, whether I should give it to him or I should not. Like I was in France at one point of time, I have to go all over the world for my lectures and things. So I was in France at one point of time. My daughter also was there with me, and this person at the at the hotel counter, he said, "I need your CVV number," and I was like, "Okay," because my husband had told me deliberately that you will not divulge your CVV number to anybody. So I was in a big quandary, what to do, to listen to him or to listen to this person. So at the end of it all, I somehow sidled out of the situation. But these are little itsy bitsy information, pieces of information that we really need to know, so that we can be sure-footed in what we are doing. And then we hear about the dark web, and then we hear about artificial intelligence, and we hear about something called deep fake these days. So, these are things that we hear about, and as long as it is in the situation of gossiping, it's also very well. But when it happens to you, you're the saddest and most miserable person under the sun. It is scary. And so this aporia and this liminality, liminality in the sense that you do not know where you are, you're falling between stools. So this aporia and this liminality is really, really dangerous. So what should we do if we are a victim? First of all, like our friends over there were telling us, different actions can be taken depending on different kinds of frauds that happen, that are committed. So the first thing is to report whatever has happened to the pertinent authorities, to file a police report, to alert the bank or the financial institution that we are dealing with, to review our credit card or debit card reports and dispute whatever fraudulent activity we can see happening over there. And the first and foremost thing that we should probably do, our friends from the bank or friends from SEBI will be able to say it better, that maybe changing our passwords would be a help immediately after we discover that something has gone wrong. Now, this is why we get duped so easily. Pulling the wool over our eyes is so easy because we do not understand the finances properly, and we might be literate as far as education is concerned, and as far as academia is concerned, I can tell you, because I work in a university in the highest post, and still I do not know almost anything about finances. So financial literacy is something that is so necessary. We teach our students what Shakespeare had talked about. We teach our students what T.S. Eliot had talked about, and we do not teach them how to manage their own bank accounts. We do not manage them how to manage their own investments, So this is kind of like very preposterous. So something needs to be done about that. The nitty-gritties of finances need to be understood. And the internet also needs to be understood, because as long as we do not understand the internet and the way in which it works, it can play games with us. So a minimal amount of internet, I think we should know how it works. So how do we do this? What can we do to prevent the entire thing? So this then brings us to the question about where should we go and whom should we talk to? Who should be the go-to person who will give us the information when we need it? When we are at a loss, when we are at a quandary about what to do and how to go about things, whom do we turn to? We know that we can complain to the police. We know that we can, ask the bank to freeze my account or freeze my card. But what next? Where does my money go? And how do I prevent myself from getting hoodwinked in the first place? That is very important, and that is imperative, I think. So that is why financial literacy is important. We can do that from through a number of ways, I guess. We can educate ourselves by reading our books about it. We can listen to podcasts. When I was doing my homework to come here for this lecture, I was thinking that, okay, I don't know anything about finances. Let me educate myself a little bit. So I was just, browsing around to find out how to gather a little bit of knowledge about finances. And I found that there are a number of podcasts, which we do not even know about. And so we don't care to listen. Otherwise, when we are driving to work, we can, we can just play it on our system and we can listen to it. But we don't even know that there are podcasts like that. We don't know that there are, websites which talk about financial literacy. We can subscribe to them and we can just listen to them and become literates. We don't know about that. And we don't know which professional financial expert to talk to if we have a problem. So, organizations like SEBI come in over here. So this is the role that we as lay people, common people, expect out of financial professionals. So awareness camps like this, of course, do help a lot. They go a long way in educating financially illiterate people like me. They give a lot of knowledge about that. And of course, I know that you guys have a very informative website, but the problem is, if lay people do not know that they need to look up that website, they won't even go there. So there has to be an information dissemination where people will understand that, okay, these are the places where I might turn to in order to sort out my investments, in order to sort out my frauds that are happening with me, in order to take care of my finances. So that is what needs to happen. Now, what will it do for us? For us lay people, it will help us to manage our money. It will help us to make important decisions as far as our finances are concerned. Like, I have been in service for 25 years and I have been earning a little bit of money every month, and I still am a quandary about where to invest and what investment is going to give me the best returns. So what we do is that we go on talking amongst ourselves, amongst our colleagues, and we ask, what have you done? What have you done? And then some wisecracks will come up with some kinds of ideas, and we will say, okay, he understands finances, so let's listen to him. But sometimes that might be faulty. So we need professionals to come ahead in these places, and it will also help us to plan our retirement better, because we really do want to have some money in our hands when we actually are pushed off from our jobs. We need to stick on to the lifestyle that our jobs are getting us used to. So we would hate to have no money at that time. So I wish there would be somebody to advise us as to what to do about our financial stability. Now, one thing that I was thinking as a person from academia, that why not do a tie-up with academia, because catching them young is always very important. So our students I think they have better brains than we do. Young people, they have quicker brains, they have much smarter brains than we do. So I think we teach them any number of things. We teach them an eternity of subjects, but we forget to teach them finances as a compulsory subject. Like I teach in a university where we have English as compulsory subject, we have Bengali as compulsory subject. But if you really ask me, a person who does not know English can still find her or his way throughout the world. But a person who does not know her or his finances will probably be in a deep soup, if things are not really, things don't really go her or his own way. So I think educating people financially is very important. And one thing that I can say from the perspective of an administrator, from the perspective of a teacher, from the perspective of a professor, is that I think, teaching our students the basics of finances, the basic of investment, and the basic of the different frauds that can happen is really going to take them a long way. And that is something that is probably very important, and we need to give it a very, very important thought. And I was just, racking my brains about how this can happen. Tie-ups with educational institutions is something that is always happening. We are always signing memorandums of agreement, and we are always signing MOUs with different organizations. So how would it help? It would help because, nowadays, I don't know whether you have heard of it, but UGC has come up. UGC is the University Grants Commission, and we are all affiliated to that. all the universities. So UGC has come up with something called NEP 2020, that is National Education Policy 2020, where it is imperative for every student to do some kind of internship of or the other. Now, here I was thinking that there is a golden opportunity or a golden opening for different sectors like investment consultants and professionals who can probably tie up with us so that we can send our students to them for internship so that they learn, at the same time they get a certificate, so they get their credits, and at the same time they also are benefited because they really get a hands-on training on something that is a life skill. Teaching languages, teaching how to do creative writing, these are not life skills. These are skills that can be honed, but life skills are very, very necessary. And mind you, I am talking from the perspective not just of an administrator or not just of a professor who has 25 years worth of students behind her, but I am also the mother of a 23-year-old girl, who is now earning her own money. And I would like her to be financially knowledgeable, financially very stable, and financially she would be in the know-how and she would know what she's doing with her money, not just floundering about like we did our entire lives and probably still are doing, right? So I would just want all of you who are in this investment sector, in this financial sector, to give it a thought, and whether a tie-up with academia to catch them young, to train up young minds in finances is possible at all, So it would be wonderful to have tie-ups and MOUs signed with organizations like that. And I can only assure that as an administrator, I would be just absolutely happy to do it. Thank you. I won't take any more of your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so much. It's very insightful. Thank you so much. So thank you, ma'am. So, hello everyone. So now we all have gathered here for a panel discussion with our distinguished guest from industries. So today's topic is be future ready, don't just save, invest. So may I call upon Amir, Mr. Amir Suleiman from Aditya Birla Asset Management Company Limited. So please take your seat. So he is Assistant Vice President, Investor Education, Distribution Development, and Mr. Suleiman. He is with Aditya Birla since August 2008. He is a management graduate in finance and marketing, backed by mechanical engineering with more than 25 years of work experience in financial service industries, including debt market, life insurance, mutual funds. And since last 8 years, he has completed more than 1,000 training sessions spread across the country, training more than 10,000 distributors. Apart from training, he is a key speaker in investor awareness program with media partners and other external agencies. Please welcome Mr. Amir Suleiman from Aditya Birla. Next, I would like to call Ms. Shilpi Addi. She is from LIC Mutual Fund, AVP Regional Head, West Bengal Institutional Cell. Ma'am, please come. She is a professional with a rich experience of 18 years in financial industry, including successful stint of almost 16 years with LIC Mutual Fund. Next guest we have Mr. Sajib Saha from Axis Mutual Fund. He's a VP Zonal Head East 1 Retail Sales. Mr. Shaha, he is a senior professional with rich experience of 17 years in mutual fund financial industry, including successful stint of almost 9 years with Axis Mutual Fund. Have also been associated with Aditya Birla Mutual Fund, Nippon Mutual Fund, and AIG Investments in the past. Next guest in the panelist is Mr. Monojit Ray from UTI MF. He's a chief manager. Mr. Monojit Ray is a senior professional with rich experience of 30 years in financial industry. He joined Astwell Unit Trust of India, the predecessor of UTI AMC Limited, and continued since then. He has worked extensively in eastern and northeastern part of India with various stakeholders like distributors, banks, and institutions. Please call upon Mr. Sandeep Srivastava, HDFC Mutual Fund Regional Head AVP from East. He is working with HDFC Group for last 21 years, which includes 17 years with HDFC AMC. Have got diverse experience in different zones, north, south, currently handling the responsibilities of all the channels of HDFC AMC based out of Kolkata for East Zone. Last but not the least, Mr. Sandeep Kumar Mishra from Nippon Mutual Fund. He is a senior regional manager, banking and national distribution.
Sandeep.
Mr. Sandeep Mishra comes with over 15 years of rich experience in mutual fund industry, working in both B30 and T30 markets across segments. Since 2015, he has been with Nippon India Mutual Fund and currently heads banking and national distribution segment of Calcutta. He is a coveted CEO elite club member at Nippon and is passionate about market movements and follows the market trends very closely. So I welcome you all in this panel discussion. So they are all our distinguished guests who will talk about mutual fund industry, how to take it forward. And I would like to give it to Mr. Suleiman so that he can take it forward from here. Thank you.
Well, let me first thank Sanchita for her wonderful introduction. Very good evening and warm welcome to all of you and to all the panelists as well. So as Sanchita said, the discussion will be on mutual fund. But before getting into the discussion mode or the panel discussion mode, let me first thank Calcutta Book Fair Committee, who has arranged this fair on continuous basis. And if we recall, West Bengal being the epitome of literature, Calcutta Book Fair will take it always forward so that this legacy of literature continues forever. In the meantime, I would also like to thank SEBI and AMFI for participating in this event and giving us, the industry people, the asset management industry people, giving us the opportunity to represent mutual fund in front of all of you. So while I have already thanked SEBI and Calcutta Book Fair Organizing Committee. Now I'll move to the panel discussion part. But before getting into the panel discussion, let me tell you, I'll just want to check if you have come here to understand more about mutual fund, whether you have seen that mutual fund Sahi Hai campaign or not. So can you raise hand whether you have seen this mutual fund Sahi Hai advertisement? Can you just please raise? And how many of you actually know about mutual fund? And how many of you are the investors to mutual funds? So lot many people are there who actually are well conversant of mutual fund and have also been an investor to mutual fund. I would now start my question and with the panelists, and we'll start with Sandeep. So Sandeep, let me put the context and then I'll ask you the questions. You know, the topic which Sanchita said is that the topic is be future ready. Don't just save, but invest. So be future ready, don't just save, but invest. India has been, or the Indian has been a, you know, large or a large population of India has been a great savers. We are a great saver. But till date, we are not a great investor. So we, as being a saver, we have to be a great investor as well. But of late, what we have seen, that there is a great push and the rush of investors who has, you know, started investing and moving from saving mode to investing mode. Now I will give you some anecdotal evidence of why I am saying so, that investor has moved from, you know, savers to investor. Now if you look at today's market, so what is happening in the market? The market is at all-time high. So the Sensex or the Nifty is at all-time high. Mutual fund industry is at all-time high. So mutual fund currently, you know, is managing more than 50 lakh crore, which is at all-time high. If you look at the folio numbers in mutual fund, so mutual fund folios is much more than 18 crores, and out of 18 crores, the SIP folios is to the tune of 8 crores. So that means there's large influx of investor who are coming to mutual fund foray with the help of investing through SIP. But if you look at the unique investor, it is still at 4.26 crores. When I say 4.26 crores, out of the population of, you know, we are the most populous country, and still we have got 4.26 crores. Now since I said that the market is at all-time high, mutual fund AUM is at all-time high, we have got a huge folio base of more than 18 crores. Last month only, in the month of December, you know, the total folio that has been registered in SIP is to the tune of 40 lakhs. Even the Demat account which got opened is to the tune of 40 lakh. Now my question to Sandeep is that while we are seeing so much of rush of investor coming to the mutual fund foray, can we infer from this that investment in mutual fund sahi hai, is a right approach, or can we infer that participating in India growth story through mutual fund is a right approach? Sandeep, over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Amir. And first of all, I would like to thank SEBI for giving us this opportunity to interact with each one of you. Like, I've been with the industry for a very long time. And what I feel that still we are at the very starting stage, at a very nuisance stage. Why I'm telling this, as he told, savings, like India is known to be the country for the savers. We have been very good in savings. But if you see last 1, 2, 3 years data, the saving rate is like coming down. And if you see the demography of our country, average age is around 28 years. So that is the average age of India. So so many times we say that India has got the demography dividend advantage because we are very young country, very young population. And that is the reason, like, we have a strong consumption story. A lot of these investments, they are coming to India. We don't only depend on export. We have our indigenous consumption story that is ongoing. So these are the advantages. But at the same time, we have to see that earlier our savings rate were much higher than what is today. And now it is very imperative what you told ki mutual fund sahi hai. It is sahi hai because we need to save, and we need to save for our future. So there are two aspects to it. Like, one thing we should understand that there is a survey which says that our average life expectancy of Indians is going up. Like, at the time of independence, how many of you know that what was the average age of any Indian? Life expectancy, what was the life expectancy at the time of independence? 1947. So it was around 40 years, even less than 40 years. And now it has crossed 70 years. So like by the say going time, our life expectancy is also growing. So people who are like sitting in this conference hall and who are less than say 30 years, 35 years, I'm very sure ki their life expectancy would be more than 75, 80 years going forward, the way it is growing. And you understand we are a young population, so we'll get very less time working age, like we'll get very less working age time. We may be working for 50 years, 55 years, and as the ma'am, she was telling that we have to plan for our retirement, we have to plan for our late years. So like if we work for say 50, 55 years, then rest of the 25, 30 years, we have to depend on our savings. And our savings should be as much so as to compensate our retirement, because 30, 35 years, we have to live without earning any penny. So we have to depend on our savings and more on our investments. So that thing is very important. That is where I think mutual fund is actually playing and has to play a very important role going forward. Because what will happen if you will not save for your future, you have to see your future. That is very important. And the current generation, the problem, the challenge is that they are just looking for the instant gratification. So they have short-term goals. So mutual fund, what we try to educate through a lot of these investor awareness program, to look for the longer term goals. And longer term goals, like it includes retirement, includes your long-term financial planning, and where this mutual fund plays a very important role. And going forward, what we say, in the coming 20, 25 years, they are going to be the Amrit Kal for the Indian economy. You know how the economy is growing. So IMF is saying in 5 years, our economy will double. Already we are like on the 5th rank, in the world, say an economy rank. So very soon we'll be like on the 3rd rank and all. So India is growing very fast, and to participate in this growth, I think mutual fund is one of the best ways to participate. But yes, you have to understand it, you have to understand it correctly, and you have to understand your needs, your short-term, your long-term goals, and you have to plan it. So that is how I feel that mutual fund is actually sahi hai.
So I think very elaborate answer from Sandeep, but still I would like to, have any other panelist view if they have any, or then probably I will add my, understanding that why should anyone be participating in capital market or growth of India through mutual fund. Any panelist if one? Sajiv.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So, on behalf of this panel, I would like to thank SEBI, I would like to thank Kolkata Book Fair and AMFI for giving us this opportunity to present ourselves in terms of mutual fund. So, what Sandeep said, I totally agree, and I would like to add over here that if you would like to go back to around 2000, so 24 years back, any guess what was the bank FD rate that point of time, or any government traditional schemes what they used to offer? Any guess from your end? आज के डेट पे हमको 6%, 7%, 8% FD पे रिटर्न मिलता है. That point of time we used to get around 10 to 12%, and that point of time the inflation, if we will consider that around 7 to 8% was the inflation rate. The average inflation, long-term inflation rate is around 6.5 to 7% still now. But the problem is happening that the FD rates or the government schemes which used to generate 10 to 12% of return earlier, now it is around 6 to 7%. Now we need to understand this thing, that whether with this 6 to 7% of FD return or any traditional products return, are we able to beat the inflation? No, we are not able to beat the inflation. There are two terms what Mr. Amir Sulaiman as well as Mr. Sandeep mentioned, that savings as well as investments. So savings in Bengali or in Hindi, if we say, it is mainly liquidity, cash समझते हैं हम लोग. But cash मतलब हम लोग बैंक में रखते तो 4%, 4% मिलता है. 4% से आप 6%, 7% के inflation beat नहीं कर सकते. And that is why the investing part comes up. And the Indian story, obviously, it took almost 60 years for us, that is, to become 1 trillion economy. We became 1 trillion economy in 2007. The next trillion we became, that is 2 trillion, we came in 2014. It took 7 years for us. In 2021, another 1 trillion, that is 3rd trillion. So that is the Indian growth story. But the problem is, uh, are we participating in the capital market as well? So initially it was not, but for the last 4 5 years, thanks to AMFI's campaign, thanks to SEBI's various campaigns in terms of promoting the demat accounts, in terms of promoting investments in the capital market, as well as AMFI's mutual fund Sahi Hai campaign, that has really helped us. Plus the digital media, as well as these overall mutual fund initiatives, as well as distributors, the digital, the distributor fraternity, they has helped to increase the knowledge among the investors. And that's how overall these savings as well as investments, this pre-notion, or you can say this knowledge has been inculcated in terms of investors. So I think obviously mutual fund is participating to the growth story of India, and our investors also participating to the growth story of India.
So thank you, Sajib. Let me, make it a point to uh, for all of you that we have a very limited time. We have to be very crisp in our approach to answer the question. So, in a very short way, I would probably say that why mutual fund should be, a stepping stone for participating in capital market or in the growth India story. You go and compare it. You go and Google it and compare it with any of the, investment avenues available to you on 4 templates, and that 4 template is which can talk about safety, liquidity, better return, and tax efficiency. These 4 things you have to just check: safety, liquidity, better return, and tax efficiency. Compare it, you will get the idea, and that is where I am saying there is a huge influx of investor coming to mutual fund industry. As I said, mutual fund industry is at all-time high AUM, with all-time high investor, with all-time high folio, with all-time high SIP. This will. Now coming back to Monojit, as I said earlier, that while the Indians are very good savers, they are not a very good investors, and there is some hesitancy in front of investor to come into capital market. So what is that actually problem, that the investors are hesitant to come into capital market and actually take benefit of the India growth story? And why I am saying so, we are the most populous country with more than 140 crores people, whereas the investor to mutual fund industry is only to the tune of 4.26 crore, which is a unique investor. I'm not talking about the folio. So Monojit can help us what can be done, or why it is happening so, and what can be done to improve investor from being a saver to become an investor. Monojit, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for asking the question, and thank you, Book Fair, giving us the opportunity. Actually, my job has become very easier. How? Because we already have a live example of how the investor behavior. Just few minutes back, Madam was there. You are all listening to her. She is one of the highly educated, highly qualified, high earning person here. But she still is afraid of investment. Why? Because she is afraid, or she has the fear. She does not know. We can call it as a fear of unknown. Because from our childhood, we are very familiar with the products like bank FDs, insurance, like these products. But this stock market or mutual fund, this is very unusual for us. Now that is the reason people feel that if we go to the in investment opportunities, we don't invest. We go for the savings, and we go for the traditional products like fixed deposits or insurance, and we don't look after these mutual fund and other opportunities. So that is the basic things. She being the highly educated, she is having highly extra earning which can be invested, but she is afraid. So we are afraid of the unknown. We are afraid of the. We think that stock market is something like it is a gambling. No, it is volatile. Your money may go up, your money can come down, and anything can happen. But the point is that that is the place where you can earn only extra income. As he was telling, that we have to beat the inflation, then only our investment will work. Otherwise, we'll be destroying our wealth, not creating any wealth. Now, if you want to create your wealth, you have to go for an investment like mutual fund and stock market, which only can give you a return which will be better than or can beat your inflation. But we think that this is a volatile, we will not go. But there is a scientific way of investing. Nowadays, the SIP has come. SIP has minimize your risks. It will minimize your risks and give you a better probability to take a return. So, but we don't look into those things. So that is one point where we feel like a saver, don't go for the investment. Second point is that we cannot give time, like madam also. If she is interested to invest also, but she does not have the time to look after the things or look up the rules and regulations. Because in mutual funds and stock market, there are some rules, regulation, complexities is involved. You have to find a product, you have to know a little bit, then only you can make an investment. So we don't have the time to do that. So that is one part. That is why we also miss to, go for the investment. We keep only with the fixed deposit or savings account. And there is the third point, which is that somebody have a bad experience, because before this SIP and all these different concept has come into the mutual fund, earlier only you can invest in a single way, in a lump sum. And many people while investing had a bad experience. And that bad experience has made them, not to come back to the, investment world. So those are the three things which mainly make a people go for only savings but not for investment. But these are the some things which can be easily be changed. Because if you want to go for an investment, you only have to have the basic informations, basic knowledge about how to invest and find out the suitable product. And if you are not familiar with, nitty-gritties of the investment world, there are financial advisors available. Why not consult them? Because for any medical purpose, we go to a doctor. If there is your pump is not working, we go to a plumber. But regarding the investment, regarding our money, we don't go for any suggestions, any proposal from anybody. So if I am not able to manage, if we take a responsibility and go to a proper advisor, we can make a investment world, and then only we can go with that way. I think time is very short, so I'll stop here. And if you want to add anything,
Sandeep, you want to add something? Sandeep wanted to add something. Just be little crisp.
Okay. I just wanted to add some positive things to it. Like mutual fund industry started in the year, say 1963, and it took around 50 years to add first 10 lakh crores. So industry touched first 10 lakh crores in the year 2014. And we are in 2024 and industry is already crossed 50 lakh crores. So next 40 lakh crores came in the next 10 years. It shows that as the awareness increased, the number of folios, the number of SIP accounts. So SIP accounts in 2016, I remember it was somewhere between 3,000, 3,500 crores. Today SIP book is more than 17,000 crores. So as this awareness is coming in, as like with the help of SEBI, MFI and all the mutual fund houses, we are doing a lot of these awareness program. So this thing is actually bringing the change, because there is a transition period. Now the country is going through a transition period where the new, say, young population, they are coming. So new young generation, so they are more interested in getting some better, like Amir told, ki they understand that risk, return and liquidity. They understand that, okay, they need some returns also, they need liquidity, they have to manage risk. So this all comes through awareness. I think more we do such kind of programs, such kind of campaigns like Mutual Fund Sahi Hai or Investor Awareness Program, the more investors, the more new people will come. I'll just end up with one small thing. Amir told that there are 4.26 crore unique investors are there. Just think how many passport holders are there in the country. Passport holders are like, there are more than 10 crore passport holders in the country. And just understand that people who has the passport is not investing in mutual fund. So it means that awareness has to be spread. And like there are some days before I read somewhere, there are some 16, 17 crores people, they are playing rummy like online, this gamings. And they are also doing their KYC. And like as an industry, we are trying so much. We added only 4.26 crore investors and this online gaming platform, Rummy and all. So people, they are investing like 16, 17 crores people, they are participating. So I think we still have a long way and we should keep on doing this awareness program. It will definitely, we should now eye for that 100 lakh crore AUM. Like from 10 to 50 lakh we have covered in 10 years. Again, I think the next 50 lakh crore, we should be covering it much faster with more number of investors coming in this space. Thank you.
So, thank you, Monojit and Sandeep both. So, Sandeep talked about the awareness program, and that is what I think SEBI and AMFI has been doing consistently, and the endeavor of SEBI and AMFI and all the asset management companies is there that any investor who is coming to our foray should be an informed investor. So they should be well informed about what they are doing. And another aspect is we don't have any, financial literacy subject which is there in the school, and that is what the government is also working upon, that one should have, a financial literacy subject from the very beginning at the nascent stage, so that it inculcate habits from the very beginning about the savings and investing. Another part is I would request each member who is sitting here should discuss this among their family also. Normally we don't discuss anything related to financial literacy or related to investment. It is very close discussion among the senior most people, not among the family. So let us have this discussion commonly within the family, so that more and more financial literacy happens and more investor move from savings to investing. Now coming back to SIP, as I said, SIP is something which is I'll give you the anecdotal number, as I given that I had given that around 40 lakh SIP got registered in the month of December. So SIP, people are investing with goal or with no goal. So even if they don't have any goal, they are investing in SIP, and it has become a very popular tool to participate in capital market. Now I would like to have your view, Sandeep, that why are people choosing to invest through SIP? Yeah, sorry.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, SEBI, and thank you, Kolkata Book Fair, for giving us this opportunity. So, first of all, why, as Sir said, as to why people are investing more and more into SIPs. So, the main reason that I believe is that it's very easy and convenient to invest into an SIP. The documents that you need, an individual needs, is just his PAN card. It should be linked with the Aadhaar card, bank account proof, and a photograph, and the KYC can be done, and he or she can do it online or offline. The other thing, the USP of a SIP is that one can invest with as low as rupees 100. One can start investing. So any new person who is new to the market can always start investing through SIPs, because the minimum amount needed is very, very less. The second USP of it is a term called rupee cost averaging. So what SIP inculcates is that each and every month from your account on a very particular date, a fixed amount will be deducted from your account and invested into mutual funds. Now this is a habit that is inculcated with each and every one of us. So the months wherein the markets are up, at that point of time you would be getting less units, but in the times when the markets are down, you would be getting higher units. So be it units or be it the price, you are getting the benefit of either the price or the number of units in either case. The third thing would be the power of compounding. So one who invests into SIP is reaping the benefit of the power of compounding. So each and every installment that he is investing in is getting compounded year on year, and that accumulates to a big amount. So the thumb rule, as we know, is like if someone is investing 15,000 for 15 years with an assumption of 15%, that amounts to 1 CR after 15 years. So I do believe that SIP is very, very convenient and very easy tool, and it's something like, and thanks to the media, thanks to AMFI and SEBI, wherein and thanks to all the AMCs wherein we are conducting IIPs almost on a very frequent basis, wherein we are emphasizing on this thing that SIP is necessary and SIP is the best way to invest into mutual funds.
So thank you, Sandeep, for giving us something which can also make us crorepati. So he's talked about 15, 15, 15. So if any one of you want to become a crorepati, he has given you that formula. So finally he said that why SIP is the first tool for any investor to come into capital market or to gain India growth story is because of the ease, convenient, very ease, power of compounding. So Einstein said it's the eighth wonder of the world. So if you want to understand power of compounding, just go, because Einstein has also said it is the eighth wonder of the world. So it will do wonders if you continue your SIP for a longer period of time, and it can give you immense wealth creation. You can always do that calculation or just Google, because that is very easily accessible everywhere. You can have the the SIP calculators that explore that avenue, and probably you will get more understanding about power of compounding. He also talked about rupee cost averaging. So how that more number of unit will get accrued if the market is down, and that will actually help once the market bounce back, and you will have a higher wealth creation. Now coming back to Shilpi, I'm sorry that I'm little late to check with you, although women comes first. But I thought of starting with Sandeep because of his good experience, and then I went to Monojit because of his great experience. Shilpi, woman has been the forefront of everything. I should say the household chorus, or maybe professionally she is working somewhere, being a housewife also and being a professionally qualified working woman. Managing, balancing everything is very, very tough, and they are doing it in a very disciplined approach. So by virtue of their nature, if I remember my mother, so when I go to my mother and ask for money, she will always give me. But when I will go to my father and ask money, he will say, "Paisa nahi hai." Then I said, "Papa, you keep earning so much of money. Even my mother is a housewife, she is not earning, still she managed to give me the money." And that actually gives me an idea that the women do a great budgeting. So budgeting part of women is very, very great. So every year my father used to give some amount of money, and every year the inflation comes into play, so he has to increase that money. At many a times I have seen that he has been continuously giving that amount of money, and my mother has been also managing the household chorus and saving some money whenever we asked, so he provided. So I'm trying to tell you that women has been a very good budget, very good in budgets, and very good in planning. So you help us understand that if I have to talk on mutual fund foray, that more discipline is applied through the SIP route. So what would one communication that you will give it to the sitting out here, all the women, that they should invest through SIP, being the discipline culture embedded in the women's nature? And I would also tell you that we have our finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman, and then we have our chief minister being Mamta Didi. So both are women. So you can also see one side finance minister, another side chief minister. Over to you.
Thank you, Amir. And first of all, I wish good evening to all of you, and thanks AMFI and SEBI and Kolkata Book Fair to give us this opportunity. And first, I would like to give you a question. हम लोग जितने सारे लोग यहाँ पे बैठे हैं, यहाँ पे आपको कितना लगता है कि लेडीज़, परसेंटेज ऑफ लेडीज़, कितने लेडीज़ है जो फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट है? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दिस क्वेश्चन शुड बी अराइज्ड, बिकॉज अभी तक हम लोग जितने भी वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट के बात कर रहे हैं, वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट तभी हो पाएगा फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जब हम लोग फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट होंगे. अभी तक हमारे घर में हमारे माँ जो है, जो हाउसवाइफ है, उनको जो भी रिक्वायरमेंट होते हैं वो पापा से लेते हैं, हमसे लेते हैं, ठीक है. तो अभी फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेडीज़ का जो इन्वेस्टमेंट होगा वो तो तब होगा जब जाके उनका फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट वो लोग होंगे. तो पहले इंडिया में ये लेडीज़ को आगे बढ़ के आना है. सभी लोगों को फाइनेंशियली just not for shopping, not for मतलब buying gold and anything, but seriously जो लोग बजटिंग करेंगे, इन्वेस्टमेंट करेंगे, इसके लिए उनको सीरियस सोच के उनको मार्केट मतलब जॉब पे आना चाहिए. नेक्स्ट इज जो आप बता रहे थे कि आपके माँ के पास पैसा नहीं है, पापा के पास पैसा है. लेडीज़ लोग बहुत टाइम ना मतलब ये पैसा रखते तो है लेकिन उसको ठीक चैनल में इन्वेस्टमेंट तो नहीं कर पाते हैं, क्योंकि उनका जो बजटिंग है वो घर से जो पैसा उनको मिलता है वहाँ से वो बचा के रखते हैं. किसके लिए बचा के रखते हैं? ज़्यादातर लेडीज़ लोग उसको खर्चा कर देते हैं शॉपिंग में, गोल्ड खरीदने में और बच्चे को कुछ एक्स्ट्रा प्रोवाइड करने में. ये हमारा जो मेंटलिटी जो है कि हमारा वही मतलब लगता है कि हाँ बच्चा ये मांग लिया, हमको उनको ये पापा नहीं दे रहे तो हम उनको प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं. एक्स्ट्रा मनी है तो हम गोल्ड स्मिथ के पास चले गए कि जहाँ पे भी हमको ये बना के लेना है. कुछ हेफ्टी अमाउंट हमको मिल गया, हम शॉपिंग पे निकल गए. तो ये मेंटलिटी लेडीज़ बजट करते हैं, प्लानिंग करते हैं, लेकिन एक्चुअली अभी तक ये परसेंटेज ऑफ लेडीज़ बहुत कम है जो लोग सीरियसली सोचते हैं फॉर फ्यूचर, फिनेंशियल प्लानिंग. ये सब लेडीज़ का दिमाग से अभी तक उतना परसेंटेज में ये सब कुछ आया ही नहीं है. नेक्स्ट टू अभी मैं जा रही हूँ जो लोग वर्किंग वुमेन हैं, अभी भी फैमिली में लेडीज़ वर्किंग होने के बाद भी कितना लेडीज़ का सुना जाता है फाइनेंशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट में. अभी तक वो लोग पीछे हैं. अभी तक फाइनेंशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट जब भी कभी कोई हाउस खरीदने जाइए, जहाँ पे भी कोई रियल एस्टेट में पैसा इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, कोई भी बड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट, अगर म्यूचुअल फंड में 1 करोड़ लगाना है आपको और कौन सा फंड हाउस में लगाना है, क्या करना है, ज़्यादातर अभी तक फैमिली में मेल जो होते हैं उन्हीं का डिसीजन आता है.
So Shilpi, what will be your advice? You know, I am saying if
तो
they want to participate.
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मेरा एडवाइस यही है कि लेडीज़ लोगों को पहले फोर फ्रंट में आना चाहिए कि सिर्फ हाउस होल्ड संभालना, सिर्फ फैमिली को सपोर्ट देना, दिस इज़ नॉट आवर जॉब. ये दोनों का ही जॉब है, मेल एंड फीमेल बोथ. तब जाके फीमेल लोग फ्रीली मतलब वो लोग वर्क फोर्स में ऐड होंगे, क्योंकि अभी तक ज़्यादातर फीमेल परसेंटेज वाइज अगर आप देखेंगे, यहीं पे हम लोग जो बैठे हैं आप देखिए, सिर्फ हम और संचिता, हम दोनों लोग फीमेल है. यहीं पे देखिए हमारे इंडस्ट्री में देखिए कितने फीमेल्स हैं और कितने मेल्स हैं. तो सबसे पहले वुमेन्स को आगे बढ़ के आना चाहिए और ये मेंटालिटी हम सभी में ग्रो होना चाहिए कि मेल और फीमेल बोथ दोनों मिल के फैमिली देखेंगे, दोनों मिल के टेक केयर करेंगे सभी का और दोनों ही काम पे जाएंगे. उसके बाद फीमेल को भी लिटरेसी चाहिए ये फाइनेंशियली, इसमें जैसे वो मैम अभी बता रहे थे कि इतना कुछ वो जानती है लेकिन वो फिनेंशियली अभी तक खुद को इलिटरेट मान रही है. तो इसमें भी हम लोगों को आगे बढ़ के आना चाहिए. और लेडीज़ मतलब ये जो इंडिया में हम लोग जो देख रहे हैं ना, 140 करोड़ हमारा पॉपुलेशन है और उनमें से यूनिक फोलियो इज 5 करोड़ अगर एवरेज में देखा जाए तो और उनमें से अगर आप लेडीज़ का फोलियो देखेंगे तो मुझे नहीं लग रहा है कि 1 करोड़ से ज़्यादा इसमें आएगा. तो अभी बहुत सारा डिस्क्रिपेंसी है, लेकिन हाँ ये मैं बोल सकती हूँ जो जिसके माइंड में अभी आया है कि वो लोग कर सकते हैं, अभी वो लोग स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं. और SIP जिसको लेके हम लोग बातचीत कर रहे हैं, ये जैसे हम लोग उनको बोल सकते हैं, लेडीज़ लोग जो भी रखते हैं वो सभी चीज़ हम लोग अगर गोल्ड में, शॉपिंग में, ये सब में खर्चा ना करके अगर हम लोग म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट करें थ्रू SIP, बिकॉज अगर देखा जाएगा लास्ट 10 ईयर्स में रियल एस्टेट हमको अगर रियल एस्टेट रिटर्न इज़ 3 to 6-7% ये वैरी कर रहा है सिटीज़ टू सिटीज़. गोल्ड में भी हम लोगों को 7-8% ही रिटर्न मिल पाया है लास्ट 10 ईयर्स में. बैंक FD अगर हम लोग देख रहे हैं तो उसमें भी अभी का जो रेट चल रहा है उसमें भी हम लोग वही 7-7.5% तक इतना ही जा पा रहे हैं. पोस्ट ऑफिस में भी मोटा मोटी वही है 7-7.5. तो ओनली म्यूचुअल फंड जो है इसमें क्या है ना, स्टॉक मार्केट के बारे में आपको उतना सारा भी नॉलेज नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि हम लोगों को थोड़ा सा चीज़ को और भी थोड़ा जिसको हम बोलते हैं ना, थोड़ा सा सीधा बना के देना चाहिए। म्यूचुअल फंड अभी भी एक क्लास के लिए है, अभी तक वो मास के लिए नहीं हुआ है। हमारे इंडस्ट्री में हम लोग जो बैठे हुए हैं, ये हमारा भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कैसे करके हम लोग ये सबके पास लेके जा सके, ताकि कोई डरे नहीं। क्योंकि म्यूचुअल फंड में ये जैसे स्टॉक मार्केट में डायरेक्टली लगाने के लिए आपको बहुत ज़्यादा नॉलेज चाहिए, बहुत ज़्यादा ये होना पड़ता है। लेकिन म्यूचुअल फंड के लिए हम लोगों को, हम म्यूचुअल फंड जो एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनीज है, यहाँ पे एक्सपर्टाइज है, हम लोग वहाँ पे जा सकते हैं और हम लोग एक एसआईपी का अकाउंट ओपन करा सकते हैं, फोलियो ओपन करके हम लोग देख सकते हैं। और ज़रूर से ये मैं सबको, सभी लेडीज़ को मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूँगी कि आप सब लोग थोड़ा सा फिनेंशियली भी सोचने लगिए। जैसे आप फैमिली के बारे में सोचते हैं, फोर फ्रंट में आते हैं, कभी भी फैमिली में कोई भी प्रॉब्लम होता है, कुछ भी होता है तो आप फोर फ्रंट में आते हैं, सबका टेक केयर जैसे करके करते हैं। वैसे ही फैमिली का फिनांस का जो टेक केयरिंग होता है, मतलब क्योंकि अभी अगर इन्फ्लेशन से हम लोग आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं तो हमको म्यूचुअल फंड में आना है और ये थ्रू एसआईपी हम लोग स्टार्ट कर पाएंगे।
Thank you, Shilpi, for such an elaborate answer. And one very specific point, he said that you all have to get yourself involved in family discussion. Family discussion means जब भी घर में finance का discussion हो रहा है, आप अपने को exclude ना करें कि that is not my job. It is your job. You have to be more inclusive into any financial discussion, and that is how you will plan for investment. Because once you get into the discussion mode, it will give you more understanding about the subject, and that is where you will think of saving and then channelizing that saving into investing. Another thing which Shilpi talked about कि folio बहुत कम होंगे, but I can guarantee, although I don't have any anecdotal evidence or the research, I can guarantee if you will go back and check, all the women folios would have generated more wealth than any of the male counterpart. Because women by virtue are very disciplined. Why I am telling you so? Because their folio life would have been longer, and by virtue of their discipline and their politeness, they will never, the behavioral play will not come into the hindrance of stopping SIP. And that is where long-term wealth creation happens. So I can say that with all confidence that if you will go and check the value creation by female participant in mutual fund and the male, hopefully you will find female folio creating more wealth. So that patience is there, and you should take benefit of those patience and planning approach and budgeting approach with the help of investing in mutual fund through SIP. My final question to Sajib, to you, is that we always listen to this sentence, don't just save, keep investing, invest more, and invest in mutual fund for achieving long-term goal. So can you just clarify on investing in mutual fund for long-term goals? So and I will just say here that after Sajid concludes, we can take one concluding round and probably then close the session, and we'll check out with you whether mutual fund sahi hai is or not.
I'll not take much time this time. Probably I got an indication last time that I was crossing the time. So anyways, first of all, financial goal. What is financial goal? We got various financial goals, right, in our life. Earlier it was only three things: roti, kapda, makan, correct? So we need home for living, food for survival, and clothes for our dressings, right? Now it is not that only. Now we are having, that means we Indians or anywhere in the world, people are getting aspirational. Aspiration is good for life, right? So the aspirational can be in terms of living a good life, living a good standard of life, giving better education to children, getting son or daughter married to a good family. For that also wealth is required. For a better retirement life, and obviously that means you want to ultimately create wealth. If you are investing anywhere, obviously that investment, if it is not growing, then it is not going to help. So wherever you are investing, and if you are investing through mutual fund, only suggestion, only request is don't chase the return. If you will be chasing the return, you will not be able to create return, because that point of time when you will be chasing the return, you will become impatient. For example, if one day market is falling, and you will become impatient over there. And as mentioned by my colleague over here, that people are scared. So that scare, that fear, it always works. कि आज क्या हो रहा है, कल क्या हो रहा है. So if you will look out for your investment and chase the returns on a daily basis, you will not be able to make the money. So don't chase the return. Overall, mutual fund as an investment asset class or as a tool for investments, over a longer term period, we have seen that it generates around 12, 13, 14% of return if you are invested for 3 to 5 years of period. So obviously, to conclude, if you want to build your overall financial goal, if you want to achieve your objective, financial objective of whatsoever, whether it is retirement, whether it is getting your child education fulfilled, whether to purchase a car, whether to purchase a new home, be patient, give time to that investment to grow, then obviously your overall financial goal or objective will be achieved.
So my endeavor with Sajib for this question was that you know, while you are investing for long-term goal, what are the options available to you? If different options are there, then what benefit that you can accrue when you are investing through mutual funds. So for a long-term perspective, you can invest maximum in the 10, 15, 20-year deposit. For a long-term perspective, you can always invest in bonds for say 30, 40 years. But when it comes to mutual fund, you can always invest in equity for a long term, which probably will reduce your risk and create a huge amount of wealth. So why I'm saying long term reduces your volatility and risk and probably will give you best of the return. And that is what he talked about. Maybe if it could be on an index return could be 15, 16% or maybe 12, 13%, that kind of, but please don't come in mutual fund only for the sake of return. But I can always tell you, just check at the historical part of the return and probably you will find that all long-term investment has paid well. Now, one final concluding remarks from each one of you, starting from Silpi, and then probably we will conclude the overall session. And finally, we have to check with you whether mutual fund sahi hai ya nahi hai. Yeah, Shilpi, you can just give a concluding remarks, whatever you want to say about mutual fund. Or you have to tell me whether you think mutual fund sahi hai or not.
दिन का स्टार्ट भी होता है म्यूचुअल फंड से और मतलब मुझे आप पूछ रहे हैं ना सही है या नहीं, इसलिए मैं बोल रही हूँ कि दिन का स्टार्ट भी होता है म्यूचुअल फंड से, खत्म भी होता है म्यूचुअल फंड का बात ही सोच।
Shilpi, I am considering that you are not from the mutual fund industry. Now think of different Shilpi who is not from the mutual fund industry and she is an investor to mutual fund. Now tell me whether mutual fund is sahi hai or not.
मैरिज के लिए जो भी है, बच्चे लोगों के एडुकेशन के लिए, आपके रिटायरमेंट के लिए, जो भी है, जो आपका 10, 20, 30 इयर्स का जो गोल है, ओनली एंड ओनली म्यूचुअल फंड से उस इन्फ्लेशन को बीट करके हम लोग सक्सेसफुली कर सकते हैं।
Thank you, Shilpi. Over to Sandeep.
I strongly believe
concluding
that
remarks. Concluding.
I strongly believe that mutual fund सही है और जो सही है वो यही है। और secondly, like as my friends they told कि many people they are scared of coming to capital market because they feel कि whatever the returns it has come, it may not come in the future, and they are like little scary. They have to understand the maths behind it. Like in last 42 years, Sensex has grown by more than 14% CAGR. The reason is very simple, because markets mirror the return of the economy, the GDP. If the GDP is growing, our country is growing. Nominal GDP has grown by 12-13% in last 30-40 years, and same is the capital market. They will mirror the economic growth. And if you believe that in the coming time, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the line, nominal GDP will keep on growing, believe me, the markets will definitely mirror it, and mutual funds, they are mirroring the index only. So they are just tracking it. They are trying to generate some alpha. So that is the reason we believe that in the coming time also, mutual fund would be able to deliver good return. And as my dear friend told, there are three aspects to it: risk, return, and liquidity. All the three things are in place with mutual fund. And there is a very simple formula to make returns, that what I learned in last so many years, that is STP. It is not a systematic transfer plan. S stands for sound investment, T for time, and P for patience. So if you include sound investments with time and patience, believe me, you are going to achieve your financial goals if you plan accordingly. Thank you so much.
Sajib, over to you, your concluding remarks.
Yep. So one last thing which I'd like to mention, that is in mutual fund, you do have products across time horizons. So if you would like to invest from 1 day to 30 days to 7 days or 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, for 5 year, 10 year, for a very longer term period, we do have products in across categories in mutual fund. So that's why, again, I'll be say that's one point which makes mutual fund sahi hai.
Thank you. Over to you, your concluding remarks.
ऑलरेडी एवरीबॉडी हैज सेड, तो मेरा दो ही बात है इसमें से. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल म्यूचुअल फंड सही है. दूसरा बात है मन से डर भगाओ, एसआईपी में पैसा लगाओ. बस that is
Thank
it.
you. So, over to you.
So,
संदीप.
म्यूचुअल फंड बिल्कुल सही है. एंड जैसा कि बाकी सभी ने कह दिया है कि you must forget the fear and start investing in SIPs or in mutual funds. The other thing would be a humble request, whosoever is investing, just remember two things, that in investment, patience and the financial goal is very, very much needed. So come what may, even if the markets are fluctuating, please hold on to your strategy, hold on to your investments. They would surely give returns in the long term.
So thank you, Sandeep, also. So all the concluding remarks has come, and finally I would like to conclude by saying that, you know, the best way to participate in India growth story, and, you know, as Prime Minister himself always talk about India ka Amrit Kal. So if you really want to take benefit of the Amrit Kal of investing, do venture in India growth story with the help of investing through mutual fund for all your financial objective. But be a informed investor. Have all, you know, as somebody from the panel also talked about, if you don't have that much of financial literacy, you can always take help of any of your advisors who can handhold you, so that your all investment or your, you know, financial objectives are achieved. And finally, I would say the best part of mutual fund is that यहाँ छोटा बड़ा हर कोई निवेश कर सकता है. एंड इन बंगाली वी कॉल इट छोटो बड़ो प्रत्येक विनियोग करते पारबेन. सो छोटो बड़ो प्रत्येक विनियोग करते पारबेन. तो सभी यहाँ पे छोटा और बड़ा हर कोई निवेश कर सकता है. यहाँ मैं अगर कंक्लूड करता हूँ लास्ट में एक उर्दू शेर से, तो उसको कहते हैं, यहाँ ना कोई छोटा है ना कोई बड़ा है, इन्वेस्टमेंट के रिटर्न में हर कोई बराबर खड़ा है. यहाँ ना कोई छोटा है ना बड़ा है, इन्वेस्टमेंट रिटर्न में सभी लोग एक ही लाइन में खड़ा है. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच, you all being a very wonderful audience. Thank you all. You know, keep investing. As I said, I will conclude my remarks with mutual fund sahi hai, and we are firm believer to this, and I'm sure you all are firm believer to the idea of mutual fund sahi hai. Thank you. Thank you for coming and taking out your time and attending this session. Thank you.